It's the most wonderful time of the year. What's the next line?
Couldn't tell you.
There'll be much mistletoeing and hearts will be glowing when loved ones are near. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Welcome to Life's What You Rate It, the podcast where we rate everything on a scale from 1 to 10 to tell you if it's good or not. My name's Michael, and this is my brother,
Mark.
And we do this show. We've done this show for a long time, and it's Christmas time, so we're going to get sentimental and talk about Christmassy type things, maybe. Maybe not.
Nope.
Because we talked about Christmassy things a little bit last week, but it's December. We got the whole Christmassy month. Though, at some point, we will take a break off for Christmas, I assume. This is not that week.
Nah, dude, we won't take a break off for Christmas.
Why not?
We'll work through it, dude.
I don't work through anything.
We're on that grind.
This is...
I feel like we have to do a Christmas break or not take a break because I still feel bad for not doing anything last week.
I think this might be the most important podcast that exists. Even if we're not the most popular podcast yet, and we're not the most downloaded podcast yet, we might be the most important podcast yet. Not because we do a service to this generation, because let's face it, we're screwed.
Oh yeah, dude, we're boned over a long time ago.
But when the future civilizations find us, this podcast will be very useful in understanding 2018 American culture and maybe even other cultures.
You remember the episode of Boy Meets World about the time capsule?
Nope.
This is the episode of Boy Meets World about the time capsule, only it's through podcasts and much, much longer generations farther away. That also makes sense because if you've watched the episode of Girl Meets World where they dig up the Boy Meets World time capsule, some of the stuff that people put in there doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
I think that generally speaking, when you dig up a time capsule, probably none of it makes any sense. You're like, what the heck is this? Unless somebody directly writes a note that's like, listen, this is a potato because Portal was big and GLaDOS. Sorry, I forgot we're making stuff for moms. But before we get into moms real quick, I want to talk about something relevant. Have you seen the new YouTube Rewind?
Yeah, dude, it's freaking butt.
It has gone in 2 days to be the second most disliked video on all of YouTube.
I'm okay with that.
It's not very good. We're not in it is the number one reason, though.
Yeah, the biggest complaints
the most
I've had
important
with it.
podcast. They're specifically trying to hit people that are making a social change and doing good for the world, and they didn't include us.
That is the whole thing, the whole point of our show. That's our whole jam. Is making the world a better place.
And they put Fortnite in. We are bigger than Fortnite. Not in popularity.
Not in popularity,
but in value to the world.
In value to the world, in scale to time, we will I'm going to make a prediction, Michael. Me and you will be at the YouTube game longer than Fortnite is ridiculously relevant.
That might be true.
I just punched the mic a little bit. I don't think Fortnite.
So here's the thing, though. We would have probably said the same thing about Minecraft, and I don't think we'll outlive Minecraft's popularity. It's still going.
It's still going, but nobody cares anymore.
Is that true, though?
Okay, and
because it still makes a lot of money.
No, when I say nobody cares, I mean I can't walk up to.
If you walk up to a 6-year-old, do they know what a creeper is?
And go, yeah.
I mean, they know what a creeper is, but not the exploding kind.
Yeah. I'll be like, hey, Minecraft, and they're not gonna lose their mind and be like, yeah, I play that sometimes occasionally.
But if you walk outside at a 6-year-old, they will be flossing. Their default idle position is flossing
now. Yeah, I'm saying that point where it is the zeitgeist of it is in everybody's head 24/7 all the time will long outlive that.
Absolutely, because we are the most important podcast
of all time.
At least of this generation, though I think we could come to be the most important podcast of all time.
If we work at it.
I think the most important podcast of all time was actually called The Monthly Issue Weekly. And it just didn't... No, it was I Can't Know Music, I'll Know Music. It was the most important podcast of all time.
That's fair.
And also, there's no reason that podcast can't come back for real, though.
I really did like that show. Like, as I know we're doing like a lot of jokey jokes here sometimes. Like hey Michael, can I tell you something real quick?
Let's do a joke real quick. Go ahead.
No, this is not a joke.
Oh,
real quick.
dang it, Mark. Okay.
Sometimes people tell me, they'll be like, hey, I was listening to your show and I thought it was pretty funny and stuff. And I go, this is a serious show where we try to save people's time and relevancy. Like, we try to cut through all the bullcrap in the world and give people facts.
We tried to do a service to humanity, because if we hadn't told you that...
If we didn't tell you that Nicki Minaj music, if playing that is a misdemeanor, then you guys wouldn't know that.
You could have gotten arrested, and we saved you jail time.
You could have done a criminal crime and also really, really made people's eardrums bleed.
I have a confession. I got another confession to make.
Yeah, what was that? I swear, if you tell me that you like a Nicki Minaj song, I'm going to get so sad.
No, my son is a kleptomaniac, though. He did steal from a grocery store. He's going to jail, and he's barely one. He's barely 1 years old.
He's not going to do well. I think the real gross thing was when the judge tried to justify trying Charlie as an adult.
And he can't
just messed up.
He can't even
say words.
He can't even technically swear himself in. Like, when they ask him to do like the whole truth and nothing but the truth or whatever, he can't.
He was like,
for one, he can't keep his hand on the Bible because the dude's attention span is so short he can't even keep his hand on the Bible. For two, he couldn't say "I do" or whatever he's supposed to say. What do they say? I swear.
I swear to tell the whole truth.
Oh, they have to say the whole thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, he defo can't do that.
Tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
And so they put him on the stand anyway, and they said, did you steal this ice cream?
Yeah, and then Charlie got kind of sleepy and just freaking toppled off of the stand because he was standing on it. He climbed right on up there and fell down.
I mean, if you were getting tried for like drunk driving, they would have definitely had a right to arrest him then.
Like, that's fair.
But
I understand.
He was getting tried for stealing diabetic ice cream from the grocery store that he happened to throw in the cart when his mom wasn't looking, and then hid in his bed or hid in his blanket the whole time out the store.
What happened was, when we babysat for him, we let him watch that Han Solo movie, and he's like, "Oh, the smuggler life for me, dude."
All right, we're gonna play truth or truth, right? Have you ever stolen something on purpose? Because I just, like, one of the times when like you hear people witnessing to other people's, like, have you ever stolen anything? I have not.
Hold on. If your brother has a bunch of old gross candy in a lunchbox in his room,
absolute thievery.
Is that theft?
You stole all my candy. I used to hide my candy only because of you. I barely, like, I am a slow, like, as large as I am, as much as I like to talk about my obesity as if it were funny, candies are not my weakness.
Yeah, Michael's a good candy boy.
Like, I like eat small amounts of candy, and that's it. Like, I'll eat like a handful and then be done for the day. But salties are my weakness. But this guy over here, the skinny one, ate all my candy as a child to the point where I got a box, like
you had a lunchbox.
A miniature lunchbox that I would hide the candy because he would always find it and eat all my candy, whether we shared a room or not. He would just come in and eat it.
Yeah, that is also true. I would go look for candy in Michael's room because Michael had a job.
And also a lot more candy than you because I didn't eat it.
It's true.
Some of that candy you stole was 2 years, though. 2 years old.
I have done a theft.
I don't think I've ever stolen from a store on purpose.
I've never stolen from a store.
I really don't. Now, does it count as theftery if I was supposed to be in bed and I would sneak out of my room to go into the refrigerator
and eat all of the pepperoni?
No, not just the pepperoni.
Oh,
because if you remember, when I was I would eat pepperoni. The thing was, when I was a kid, I want to explain the context of this because I don't want to make it seem like my parents are monsters who didn't feed me. When I was a teenager, we will say that I ate approximately 6,000 to 8,000 calories a day.
Well, yes. Like, Michael would get home from work and then eat 2 plates of nachos that he would make,
and like 2 sandwiches,
and then 2 sandwiches, and then we would almost immediately after, depending on the job, eat lunch. Like, Mom would come up and make lunch for all of us, and he would eat more than anybody else in the house of lunch.
So when I say that my parents limited me on the amount of food I was allowed to eat in my recreational time, they didn't limit me during dinner time. Like if they made meals, I was allowed to eat whatever I wanted to. But during recreational time, I was limited in the food that I would eat because I would eat 100% of the food in the home.
Yeah, and when he says limited, he also doesn't mean like they were like, no, you can't have this snack right now. They mean like, Michael, you cannot eat a whole loaf of bread in a day.
For
That's
breakfast,
a no-go.
For breakfast, I was limited to 4 pieces of toast and 4 eggs. And also only 2 glasses of milk. For snacks, I was limited to only 2 sandwiches a day. I think I was also only limited to 2 plates of nachos a day. And also, you have to remember at the time, I did weigh 145 pounds. So it was not like I was a fat boy. I was just a very active boy, and I ate so much.
He's like, hey, I'm going to go spend... It was summertime. Michael didn't have a job. I'm going to go spend the rest of the day on the trampoline. Bye. And that's not a joke.
I'm going to go talk to him on the phone for 8 hours while I'm jumping on the trampoline. See ya.
I'm out. What?
But for real though, my parents would go to bed and I would wait until they went to sleep, and then I would sneak up the stairs, standing on the edge so it wouldn't squeak the stairs, and then I would go into the refrigerator and eat food. So I guess I am also a thievery.
You've done a theft.
I've done a theft.
Okay, cool. So what is the other... You said we're going to play truth, and the truth.
Well, no, I just wanted to ask if you stole something on the record.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever stolen from like a store.
I don't think I ever... like, one time a store thought I was, because I was absentmindedly walking around with stuff in my hand.
There was the one time, yeah, I went to go buy the Nerf bandolier thing, and I checked out before you, and you just started to walk out with me, and the lady was like, are you going to pay for that? And you're like, yeah, my bad.
I've had that happen 2 times. Once I had a bag of chicken that I almost just walked out the door with.
Yeah, I'm always the guy that they think is gonna steal from Walmart, though. So like, almost, it doesn't matter what
you have that kind of look.
I have that look apparently, because like there'll be like 6 people walking out of the door, and everybody walks right by the person with just bags of groceries and stuff, and I'm like, yo, I gotta see a receipt. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
It is.
Why me? I'm like, okay, here's my receipt. And they're like, okay, cool, go ahead. I'm like, what is that though? Every time.
It's Christmas time. It's the perfect time of the year for stealing things to give to other people.
Time.
To Robin Hood, the Walmart, to give to your mom for Christmas.
I feel like my gift to mom's be like, hey mom, next time you have to go to Walmart late at night, call me, I'll go for you.
I think Christmas. Dad does that if he's in town.
Dang it.
Or they call me because they do that. People talk about not liking to go into stores during Christmas time. And there's something to that because they're way busier than they normally would be. But also, let me talk about something. And that is the holiday spirit.
There is a general sense of cheeriness that happens.
I'm not saying it's 100%. I'm not saying that all of these people are religious. In fact, I'm absolutely saying they're not. So I said holiday spirit, because it could be Hanukkah, could be Kwanzaa, it could be
Christmas.
What's the metal pole one? Festivus for the rest of us. That's a Seinfeld joke. You're supposed to get it.
Right. There's a lot of episodes of Seinfeld.
Yeah, who knew? Who knew that show lasted a very long time?
I would argue a little too long. Some of the later seasons aren't very good.
Well, it went out on the top still. Yeah, they ended that show not because it was doing bad, but it was at the very top, and he said, I don't want it to get bad, and he ended it.
I mean, it's not bad.
You want to rate Seinfeld real quick?
I think Seinfeld's a 10 out of 10, dude. I freaking love that show.
I was going to go like 8, but I can do at least a 9.
Okay, you could look at the impact Seinfeld had on TV.
The impact Seinfeld had is a 10.
As heck.
The impact Seinfeld had is a 10. Not every episode is transcendent, though. There's some that are fine.
And
there's some that aren't funny. There's some that are weirdly and just don't hold up because they're kind of weird now. There's one where Jerry drugs a girl to sleep so he can play with her superhero collection. It just doesn't feel right anymore.
There's the one... Oh. We can give Seinfeld a 9 because, like, again, it was transcendent.
The impact a 10. The show, a 9.
It's a good show.
Jerry Seinfeld's hair, though, a 4. It's not. It's very weird.
Almost every time it cuts to Jerry doing stand-up in the show.
His stand-up is terrible in the show. Very bad.
But you want to know something funny? That's his stand-up.
4. Really?
If you watch Jerry, I'm like, here's the thing. I think Seinfeld's so funny. I think I have a lot of. I don't think I have a lot of respect for Jerry Seinfeld as a comedian and his love and respect for the craft of comedy. I do not think his stand-up's very good. Like, his delivery is good. I don't think his jokes are there.
Maybe that's me. Maybe I'm Seinfeld. My jokes are funny, but I can't do stand. I've never tried. I don't have a huge... at one point I did have a desire to do it until I realized that I could probably just podcast and do it from my home and make people laugh from afar. And that was rad to me.
And then you didn't have to be in front of anybody?
I don't have to be in front of anybody. I mean, I could be in front of 1 million people right now. We are the most important podcast on the internet.
I think that...
But as you can see, I am wearing pajama pants. I was kind of hoping that would be out of frame, but then I lifted my leg up and now it's not.
No, it's not.
Wearing your pajama pants while entertaining the masses. 10 out of 10. Though you're not doing it. You have to agree.
I do think it's a 10. I don't own any pajama pants.
I probably wouldn't if it weren't for Amanda's grandma, who doesn't know anything about me. I hope she's not listening.
Who got you those dope hipster socks?
Yeah, dude, she gets me socks every year.
That don't
Actually,
match,
I think Amanda bought these for me, but she does buy me socks every year and I feel bad because I don't know how to explain my hobbies or life to her. She's a nice lady, but I am I'm not a normal person.
Yeah, I said something to somebody about I do a podcast, and they're like, "Well, it's a podcast," and I was like.
It's 2018, dog.
I said internet radio on demand. This isn't a joke.
So what you're saying is you ripped off the black tapes?
Yeah, okay, yeah. It's internet radio on demand. And they're like...
It's Netflix for radio shows?
Yeah, I was like...
But anyone could do... I mean, okay, I used to say that anyone could podcast, but I guess anyone could not podcast. But almost everyone can. There's more podcasts than there are people in the world. That came out, yeah.
Nice.
Is it?
Because Kevin Smith...
Well, you know what? We are beating some people then.
Dude, we're freaking killing it, man.
If there are a number of podcasts equal to the number of people in the world, we are not last place. We're probably somewhere right there in the middle.
In all honesty.
In all honesty, we're doing pretty good. Yeah,
because Kevin Smith has talked about that like a lot. He's just like, I think people just need to do the thing. He's like, I podcast for a living now. It's the easiest thing in the whole world. He's like, do you got like a phone or anything that records audio? Sit it down, talk. Done.
I think it's the posting and the like consistency that people have a hard time with.
Yeah, and also here's the thing about Kevin Smith. I don't know if the dude realizes how charismatic he is and how good his joke timing is. Because again, Kevin Smith's jokes he's the inverse of Seinfeld. The jokes are not that funny or that clever. His delivery of the jokes that he has is very good, almost 100% of the time. I don't know if he realizes that's a thing that not everybody can do.
You want me to tell you the strength of our show? We know exactly how funny we are. And it's like a 6 out of 10.
I was going to say
most of the time, we're a 6 out of 10. Sometimes we hit that 8, I think. But most of the time, we're like a solid 6. If we did 0.5s, I would give us at least a 0.3.
We did a pointed system. We'd be at 6.3.
Dude, if we had a pointed system, we'd never get anything. We'd never agree. We'd argue those little minute details. But you know what people don't argue minute details around? Christmas.
Christmas
time, the holiday spirit. Because let me tell you what. It is nice that for 1 month out of the year, you can walk into a busy grocery store and interact with people. And generally, people are in a better mood.
That's true.
Like, most of the time, you're not just going to get cussed out around Christmas time. Most of the time. There's literally the Salvation Army people that sit in front of Walmart every time.
Mm-hmm.
And every time you walk in, they're like, hey, Merry Christmas, man. They don't ask me for money. I mean, they're ringing the bell asking for money. They don't ask me for money. They greet me. Everyone in the store greets me. You hand somebody something. Normally, they're like, have a good day. They're like, hey, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, yeah.
And I'm like, dude, Merry Christmas to you, too.
It's so good.
Also, you can sing some cool songs. Like the chestnuts roasting on an open fire, which no one has ever done. No one that you talk to has ever roasted chestnuts on an open fire. But we love the song. Usher loves the song. Justin Bieber loves the song.
For sure.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly. Who decks their halls?
I mean, what does that technically mean? What is?
It's just hanging holly down your halls. Who decorates their hallway is what I'm saying. No one. No one decorates their hallway. No offense. The most decorations anyone does for hallway is that's where they stick their family pictures. So when you're walking down the hallway, people can look at them waiting in the bathroom because you only have one or something like that.
People should decorate their hallways.
Fa la 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 la. That's the millennial version. People should decorate their hallways. Fa la 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 la. Don we now our gay apparel. That means something quite different now than it probably originally. Maybe it probably means it. I don't know, but it was written a very long time ago, and it probably means something now. Now, when we don our gay apparel, it does mean something very different than it used to.
It just means you put on you grab your rainbow flag, right?
Yeah, it means you grab your rainbow flag and your spandex pants.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's always what it meant. It probably, because it was a Christmas thing, it probably meant something at least warmer.
Dude. You know everybody's favorite date rape song?
Yeah.
Have you heard the clean version of this? The version that people have cleaned up.
I mean, I've heard lots of versions that people have cleaned up.
There is an official release thing that went fairly viral about these two people, and she's like, "I really can't stay." He's like, "Baby, I'm fine with that."
Okay, I haven't heard that one.
Hilarious, because here's the thing: it is not done out of joke at all. It is done with all sincerity.
Speaking of things that were not done as a joke, did you see that PETA tweet?
Dude, the freaking
we can't use instead of saying beat a dead horse, you say feed a fed horse.
Feed a fed horse.
Because we don't want to use negative animal terms. By the way, that PETA instead of
kill a bird with one stone, it's feed two birds with one scone.
I'm gonna give that thing an 8 out of 10.
Which, to give Philip DeFranco credit for that, he's like, one of those things is much harder to do. That's why the saying exists.
I am going to give that PETA tweet and those PETA answers an 8 out of 10 because they
united the internet.
That's what Philip DeFranco says. It united the internet. Yeah. Did you not finish that video? Philip is like, they did something no one else could do in 2018, which is unite people. So yes, they united the internet. But most importantly, I just love a good public troll because they weren't serious with that. PETA's never serious with anything they do. I think they're just trying to get popular. Kind of like someone else that I know, KSI.
Did you watch any of that rap beef going on?
Yeah, I've been following it from Keemstar, my boy, Killer Keemstar.
Who do you think won?
I think that I think that everyone loses because it's all fake. I think that everyone loses because it's all fake.
Okay, but here's the thing. Who do you think actually had a better diss track?
I didn't listen to any of the whole ones. I just listened to Killer Keemstar.
Oh. You should listen to the diss tracks. Because one of them clearly wins. And yes, I agree with you. I think that they know each other and they're doing a whole bit and stuff.
Do you think we should start a rap beef between us, two?
Me and you rap?
Do you want? Well, but we would have to. If we were really selling this, we would have to pretend that we recorded this show a bunch of times ahead of time during the beef, or just stop doing the show.
Oh no! So here's the thing: we put a divider up for when we record. There's something that divides us here.
That's what 2018 needs more of. Division. Everyone is all together. We just need more fighting. So let's not do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like every time I look at Facebook and I go, man, I'm really glad that everybody uses this really cool form of communication and stuff to, rather than reaching out to friends that they haven't had or keeping up with long distance relationships or friendships and things like that. I'm really glad that Facebook is exclusively used for alienating as many people as you can because of political beliefs and standpoints. That's all Facebook is.
Should we just get on Facebook and post hey man, Merry Christmas?
We should.
And just how many likes would that get? If I just got on Facebook right now, where's my stupid phone? Oh, it's recording this podcast. If I just got on my phone right now and I just tweeted and got on Facebook and posted, "Hey man, comma," and this would not be addressed to anybody. I'd just be like, "Hey man, Merry Christmas." You think anyone would like it?
You sexist piece of trash.
Do you think anyone would like it? I don't think it would. I'm curious how well that would do.
I've posted many statuses to Facebook that have not been liked.
Yeah, but that's something that we should get behind instead of hold on, talk. I'm gonna be right there.
You gonna get? So Michael, I'm assuming is gonna go post this on Facebook.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So I mean, I'll like it a few months from now.
When you check it?
Yeah, the way that I check Facebook is in bulk, and where Michael always will send me a message or something where he's like, "Oh, you checked Facebook," because I like most of the things Michael does and says on Facebook, like legitimately, but I don't see them for a long time, so I'll check Facebook like once every few months, and I'll spam like everything Michael's done since the last time I've pretty much done that. I think the last thing I posted to Facebook that was a status, that wasn't a joke, it was something I was legitimately excited about, I think was, I was in a store and heard a Trash Boat song, and I was super psyched about it, and nobody cared.
If you see that post, or if you're listening to our ears right now, get on our YouTube, get on our Facebook.
Listening to our ears?
I probably did. If you're hearing my voice right now, just get on the post that I'm on. I want everyone that's listening that has the capability to do this. Just get in the comment thread and say Merry Christmas. That's all you want. That's all I want you to say. Merry Christmas to you. Say Merry Christmas to us. I want this post to just like
to say
I want to spread some of that
good
Christmas cheer. And we know that the best way to spread Christmas cheer is by you
singing loud for all to hear.
Thanks, man. Thanks for
coming.
Thanks for having my back there, you wiener tard.
I remember I had the song to say Merry Christmas. And I was like, there's more words to that. It was playing on a loop in my head, and then I tuned in as you were throwing me the thing. I was like, oh shoot, what was Michael saying?
But the second best way is to comment Merry Christmas on people's threads, because let's face it, it's better than what you were going to say, which was nothing on our posts. And like in general on the internet, telling people Merry Christmas probably better than what you were going to say anyway. So
I would argue 8 out of 10 times better than what you're going to say.
How would you vote spreading Christmas cheer?
A 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. It's very
Christmas
good.
cheer is what I brought to rate 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I was wondering if we were ever going to actually say that.
Yeah, Christmas cheer is a 10 out of 10. I feel like that goes without saying, but I do want people in the future, when the post-apocalypse comes and the zombies are eating everyone, to know that there used to be a time of year that was nice, which was most times a year compared to then, but also Christmas.
No, actually, dude, I think that like people are super wrong about this, because I think that apocalyptic times, like the zombies will be cool for like a second during December. Like, it'll get cold and the zombies will be like, I need to freaking chill and be cool for a second. Stop eating these buds so they can enjoy their Christmas, and then we'll get back to it. I mean, because
that warms my heart a little bit.
Like, I think that's how that works.
That warms my heart just a little bit.
Like, I'm like, hey, Kirkman, where's the freaking Christmas issue of Walking Dead
where everyone chills for a sec?
Where the zombies are like, hold on. And like, Negan's about to freaking, hey, spoilers. Negan's about to beat the mess out of Glenn with Lucille and goes, dude, it's freaking December time. We'll get back to me killing Glenn in January.
Was it World War II where like the Germans and the Americans just had a Christmas party?
Yeah, they did it. They had a quick chill hang set.
A quick ceasefire just so they could have Christmas, and then they got back to murdering each other next day.
Right back to war, yeah.
If they can do it. If literally the Nazis could do it, the literal freaking Nazis could do it.
Nazis could be cool for a second.
If they could just freaking chill for a sec, could you all just chill for a freaking second?
Just a sec, dude.
Oh my word.
Could you use Facebook for anything besides trying to alienate people?
Yeah, while you were talking, I was mostly distracted in my own mind, thinking about, you know, Our Father Loves the song We Three Kings?
Yeah.
I don't think that's a very good song, and I don't think anything happens in it.
We three kings of Orient are
bearing gifts we traverse afar.
Fields and fountains, more mountains, following yonder star. I guess they go give the presents to baby Jesus.
Star of wonder, star of night, star of royal beauty bright, westward leading, still proceeding. They don't talk about Jesus in that first verse, dude.
Yeah, but it's implied.
It's so dumb.
Hey, Michael.
Yo, best Christmas song. I know it. Can you get it right? Do you know the best Christmas song? Because I do. It's subjective. I mean, people would say it was subjective, but I know the right answer.
I honestly think my favorite Christmas song is Baby It's Cold Outside.
No, it's Hark the Herald Angels Sing, you frickin' pagan.
Is it Hark the Herald Angels Sing not even a Christmas song? Is it like only the first verse about... Or what song am I thinking of?
Joy to the World?
Joy to the World.
Joy to the World's the one that's about the kingdom, but Hark the Herald Angels Sing is the best Christmas song because it has the best actual Christmas lyrics, and also it's just straight fun. If it were a rap battle, it would win.
Hit us with a rap version of Hark the Herald Angels Sing.
I don't want to hear that because I don't want to ruin a perfect song.
Hey, Michael, thanks for yes-anding.
Sometimes when people ask you, sometimes when there's peer pressure in the world, I was homeschooled. My mom told me this. Sometimes when there's peer pressure, you just say no. Just say no to drugs. Just say no to ruining good songs.
When moms... I liked any time mom vaguely, or not even vaguely, but would remember things from like the 80s and stuff and reference them like we knew what they were, because it was sometimes the most ridiculous mom ever seemed. Like the day that mom looked at us after she did something a little crazy, you don't remember what it was, but she goes, "This is your mom. This is your mom on drugs." It was one of the funniest, because, like, she's obviously referencing the dumb drug commercial, but, like, what? It's that's one of my favorite memories.
I mean,
wish
we're gonna
I knew
do
what
that.
Mom did.
You're gonna do that to my children.
Oh, I guarantee.
You're gonna make like quotes. I mean, the first thing like "What's that?" and they're gonna be like, "Huh?"
It's like the time that you're at my football game.
My kids won't know what flossing is.
And that guy said it was cold, and you were like, "Word," and he looked over you like, "Huh?" And you were like, "I guess I'm old now."
My children won't know how to dab on the haters.
Oh, no, because we're going to get dad dabbing, and dad'll dab for forever, so your kids will know how to dab.
I do hope dad dabs to the day that we die.
Dad's going to outlive us both. Can we acknowledge that?
While I think that he deserves to, I don't know if I wish bearing... Should I get real here for a sec? Never mind. That's not funny. I won't say that.
What did you jokes?
I won't say that. I won't talk about dying again because, you know...
Yeah, we'll go back to talking about death and stuff on our comedy podcast because the thing we were going to say was too unfunny.
I was about to say something really dark and it wasn't about suicide this time. So I won't have to edit it out, but...
We also didn't say it.
I also didn't say it, I guess.
You don't have to... Hey, Michael, you don't have to edit out the thoughts, like... For instance,
oh, thank goodness.
I mean, you do have to edit out the thoughts. But... Like, yeah, no, it's so, like, for instance, Michael, every time I'm thinking of a bad joke to say in my head, you don't have to edit the bad jokes in my head out. You have to edit the bad jokes that are out of my mouth out. Those are the ones you have to take out of the show.
Sometimes I don't know the difference. I know it's in your head.
I honestly do think sometimes you realize the joke I'm formulating because sometimes you hard turn like.
There have been times I've cut it off because I thought you were gonna say something very dumb before.
Yeah, and like I think like you'll be talking and like I'll open my mouth and you'll just freaking left turn. I'm like, that's fair. Actually,
it's called the mental yeet.
You'll be like yeet. I'm like, oh yeah, good point. And usually like in my head, I'm like, that's fair. What I was gonna say was stupid as heck. But I mean, you gotta try,
See,
right?
That's smart, because I try to save you. No one saves me. I just say it anyway.
I'm not fast. I think that's why people think I make more jokes on this show. Because Michael's trying to anticipate the dumb things I'm gonna say and make jokes.
Oh, my word. What did you bring to rate this week?
It's not really Christmassy at all.
Okay.
And
I'll make it Christmassy. It's okay.
We usually talk about good things that we like for the most part on the show.
Not always. We've done hit pieces.
But for the most part.
Yeah.
I want to do a hit piece, Michael.
Oh, yeah.
Also, spoilers, because I'm going to get into some deep cuts about this thing that you also won't get. So spoilers for you. Cut me off if you want to watch the show at some point. Have you guys seen Lost?
Some.
Lost is a very odd TV show.
I think a lot of our audience has seen Lost, so I think I'll let this deep cut go a little bit.
Lost is a very odd TV show because let me pitch to you Lost season 1.
Rip.
There is a doctor who is very charismatic on a plane, and the plane breaks in half for some odd reason, crashes.
I'm sure it's explained somewhere.
vaguely crashes on an island. I don't think it is.
I think the smoke monster is the explanation for most things when I think about Lost.
You know, the smoke monster is one of the only things on that show that's pretty cool the whole time, up until they try to explain it. But
I can say a few things about Lost. Want me to tell you what I have?
Yeah, tell me what you know about Lost, and I'll fill in the gaps and details and tell you why it's a 2 out of 10.
Hurley.
The Weezer album.
Yeah,
okay. I mean...
And the man of the name, the big curly dude.
I freaking do love the album Hurley, which might be the best thing about Lost.
2, one of the hobbits, Pippin maybe? Or maybe Mary, I don't know. One of the hobbits is in that movie.
I want to say Mary.
3, the smoke monster. 4, purgatory. That's it.
So, this doctor...
Okay.
They crash on the island,
Does the doctor live?
Yeah, not everybody.
At the first, at least.
Yeah, a lot of people live.
Okay.
Maybe it depends on what theory you go with.
Well, I guess if it's purgatory, they're all dead.
It depends on how the show ends, because some people say purgatory. The creators of Lost said not purgatory, and everybody's like, "Well, the best thing we could."
What did the creators of Lost say?
They didn't say anything. They did, so here they did.
They just proved everyone else's theory.
Yeah, they were just like, "Nope, that's not it." And I'm like, if everybody who loved your show watched it and was like, hey, they gave us this horse poop, and the best thing we could do was turn it into like tree bark,
a polished turd,
which still isn't good to eat, but it's better than what you gave us.
At least if you boil it, it could be swallowed.
Yeah, and then you go, nope, that's probably just not a good move.
Yeah, I felt that way about Mass Effect 3. But
yeah,
keep going.
Yeah, like what? Well, I mean, I think the ending that the guy had for Mass Effect 3 was good though.
Yes.
Unlike the ending that the people had for Lost was okay at best.
Do you think that show is trash the whole time then?
No. So here's the thing. This is why I'm pitching you on Lost. Like, so then all kinds of weird supernatural stuff happens, and this doctor and like all of these people like kind of rally around him as like a leader, and he tries to like figure out what's going on and get them off of the island, and they slowly but surely unravel a few mysteries.
Yeah, the show seems super rad to me.
It is super rad, and then you watch season 2 and you go, okay, that's pretty good. And you watch season 3 and...
Does it just go down the whole time? Oh no.
No, season 3 is like season 1, 2, and 3 are good.
Okay.
And like they introduce like a lot of other things. Like I think season 3 is when you get really into like the others and stuff.
What about the smoke monster though?
Smoke monster is not as big of a threat as you would imagine.
Dang it!
Almost no, because here's the thing: Smoke Monster's crazy rad. Smoke Monster's super rad up until like the last season of the show, where they try to explain the Smoke Monster, and then he gets kind of dumb.
But IRL, the Smoke Monster in real life would just be bad. It would kill people.
Yeah.
In real life,
yeah.
The Smoke Monster, if you rate all of the things in the world, and there's also a Smoke Monster, he's probably one of the baddest.
How do you fight it?
How do you fight it? It's made of smoke.
With a vacuum. You get a big fan.
That sucks.
A stiff breeze.
You huffed and you puffed and you blew his whole scene up. Okay, continue with your Lost explanation.
And then in season 4 of Lost, they do this thing where some of them get off the island, some of them don't. And then they find out that the reason that they could not get off of the island and nobody rescued them for so long is because the island time travels. Did you know this?
I feel like I've heard people say that phrase before.
So,
what's wrong with the island time traveling?
Because
every once in a while, how do you know that our house doesn't time travel?
Because it's...
Did you know that if you went over there to that room that's directly behind the camera, you would be there sleeping? And we would not have started this podcast yet?
That's not how the time travel works. So, like... So then...
So do they meet like a Nazi or something?
Huh?
Do they meet like a Nazi or something?
I think so. I don't...
Do they use this to explain people rezzing from the dead?
Not really.
Okay. That's good.
So, like, then the island time travel... They do blow up a nuke.
And the island?
Yeah.
Do they live?
And back in times, and then they travel forward in time, because there's the tall, dark, and handsome brooding boy Sawyer. He does fall in love with one of the bad guys from Once Upon a Time. I don't remember her name. And she dies in back in times, and he's really mad at Jack for essentially saving his life. And then they get off the island again. And then also, real quick, there's also these people who worship the island under the guise that the island does special things and has magic powers.
Well, it sounds like they're right, actually, though.
Yeah, but like, there's like ways to get what you want from the island and things.
Okay.
And this is the coolest part about Lost. Do you want to know why?
Because
They never once try to explain it. They act like they do, and then
Well,
there's
yeah.
always a swerve move. And that part of Lost is never explained. So then what happens in Lost is everybody gets off the island again, but they're off the island for like a while. Again, I watched...
they go back?
Yeah. So they got off once and go back, and then they get off again and go back.
You cannot make this show sound any stupider to me now. Like, you don't have to explain anything else.
Dude, the best...
The show's called, and I quote, Lost.
Well, the best part is, so they get off the island the first time, and then Jack goes ape.
They all get
crazy.
off?
Yeah.
Oh, frick.
Pretty
Come
much.
on.
No, I think some of them are back in time.
Oh, whatever.
But anyway, so like, yeah, because at one point, there's Lost. Every episode of Lost focuses on one character's backstory, to where you get flashbacks of them not on the island.
Yep.
There is a season of Lost, with the one where they're traveling in time, where there are flashbacks to before the island, flashbacks to the time that they were off the island for a little bit after they were on the island. There is flashes between the people who are on the island still, but in modern day, and flashes to people who are on the island, but in the past. But currently.
I have something, it's a side note, but it's very relevant.
Yeah.
If you are watching a fiction, and extreme major parts of the plot can be completely wiped away with something called a brain, you have written a problem into your show. For instance, we watched a show for this website called No End House.
Yeah.
Where people get trapped inside a haunted house that tries to kill them.
Mm-hmm.
And they get out in episode 4.
Mm-hmm. And then they go back in?
And then they go back in.
Well, yeah, Michael, here's the cool thing. There's a part in Lost where Jack goes ape poop crazy, and they're off the island, and then he does like a quick get the band back together, trying to pitch everybody in the show that they need to go back to the island. Which, to the show's credit, all of them essentially go, screw off, no! We were on Purgatory Island for how long and you want to go back? But he's like, nah, dude, I don't think we were supposed to get off. And they're like, what do you mean, Jack? You sound like a crazy person. He's like, no, so...
Prison Break. How many times they go back to prison?
Oh, F.
More than once! The answer is more than once!
4 times.
In the video game Until Dawn, they go somewhere and 2 people die, and what do they do the next year?
Go back.
They go back.
But did
in the movie
die in Until Dawn because of supernatural circumstances in the first year?
Yeah.
Did they know that?
The supernatural circumstances the first year?
Yeah.
Well,
so
yes, but they don't know it.
So them going back is more reasonable because, like,
a
yes,
little
somebody
bit
died there, that's sad, but like also they don't. Hey, Wendigos, like
sure, but I mean, like sometimes there's ways like. So, for instance, there's a YouTube channel that we love that you probably have heard of if you like YouTube called Film Theory, where the guy talks about film theories, and he makes a survival guide for how to survive in the Hunger Games world.
Mm-hmm.
That specifically is like in the Hunger Games games. And number one way to survive the Hunger Games is to not volunteer yourself, aka Katniss. Who says, I'm going to be in the Hunger Games this year, please.
Well, like, also, one thing I never understood about the Hunger Games was, like, okay, I don't want to do this, but, so, Lost...
Hunger Games 2.
2 out of 10.
Dude, I have so many bad things to say about the Hunger Games 2 out of 10.
I've never read the books.
I have.
I've seen the movies.
In fact,
Not
the
good.
books are are so tedious at some point that even the author gave up. If you've read that last book, if you've read that last book, even the author gives up. So,
well, like the Hunger Games movies. Here's how the Hunger Games movies go. One's fine. It's one might be a perfect 5 out of 10. Actually,
okay,
is one. 2 is a 6 out of 10. 3 and 4 are both twos.
I forgot there were 4. Oh no,
are both twos. At one point, Katniss is championing the rebellion people. What are they? I don't know. The resistance, whatever they're called.
Yeah, the peeps, the lower peeps.
And then the Capitol's like bombing this hospital that she was just like trying to help. And then this show that so one of my big things, I was like, I don't like the Hunger Games movies because I want like high flying action, and none of that's in the Hunger Games movies. They try to keep everything pretty grounded, and everybody's like, well, that's the point of the story. So then she shoots a plane out of the sky with her bow and arrow.
Mm-hmm. As one does.
Because it's very real and grounded.
Yeah, dude.
Then whoever did the the geometry and the landscaping
the spec effects
of the shot, was not paying attention of where these planes were bombing, because the planes then dive into the hospital that they were just bombing, while everybody cheers that Katniss was able to shoot down the plane.
What's the problem? They don't feel pain anymore.
Lost is bad. Lost is so
Did you
bad.
have anything else you need to get off your chest? I want to hear your rating for Lost, honestly.
So, like, there's a part in Lost when they find a dude who's been hiding in a underground bunker the whole time they've been there with food and stuff. But unbeknownst to him, or like that they're there, and then the bunker opens one day, and they find him.
I think I've seen that episode.
And then, apparently, they interact, and they're like this whole thing, and they, super late in the show, after his introduction, bring up the fact like, oh yeah, every single day I type in this code. Since I've been here, they told me to. And they're like, what? What code? I also am pretty sure that he's from the past, but doesn't know that he time traveled.
Sure. I mean, would you know you time travel? It's not like things would be different in the future.
I mean, with the way everybody acts and the way that... whatever. So, he types it... So, he's supposed to type in this code and stuff every time, and then they just don't. And they don't explain why. And my thing is like... If you live on this island when everything's kind of crazy and ridiculous and most things are trying to kill you, including a freaking polar bear at one point, which was kind of a cool scene, but I would probably...
Polar bears are scary.
I would just try to do a thing where I didn't do anything to upset the balance. But they essentially like, yeah, no, screw off Desmond, and they don't put in the code, and then like a giant purple hue light shoots out, and they also never talk about that almost ever again for the whole show. Like, Desmond freaks out. Everybody hears, like, a loud screeching noise.
Maybe they all died then.
But, like, you would think that something that is a huge deal like that there's a visual effect in real life that everybody sees and stuff, there would even be throwaway lines about, like, a few episodes from later, for at least the rest of the season, them going and being like, we can't tell anything different. Like, nothing's really changed since the light.
Sometimes people who write TV shows have an idea, and I think that the producers take it away from them, and they're like, but what if I slip it into the show? And then no one talks about it again.
So like, here's my dope freaking bright light plot thread. And
that way, some night when they're at a drunk party, or a drunk at a party, when they're drunk at a drunk party and their friends say, dude, what was with that scene? And they can be like, this is what was supposed to happen.
Because it's like, yeah, they're like, so here's the thing. The producers liked the episode, but they did not like how it was supposed to end. So they let me do the episode, and I assumed at some point I could circle around back on that because we set it up here. So eventually, you know, and then they were like, yeah, but you still can't do this thing. And he's like, but... okay. I get... Lost is bad. I think Lost is a 4 out of 10.
Ooh, that's harsh. But Hurley, 10.
The character or the album?
It's all the same thing.
Yeah, 10.
10.
I really do I Lost. And here's the even sadder part: was you asked if Lost was a steady decline, and the answer was no. Lost has 3 good seasons, and then Lost is like ends here. So like there's a little bit of peaks and valleys and stuff, like some filler episodes and things, but like essentially the highest Lost ever been is here. Lost in season 3 about here. It's not much lower. It's a very good show. Then season 4 Lost is here the rest of the time or lower.
So would Lost be better if you watch it with my methodology? Which so far I've been doing this and it's worked out for me. You watch a TV show and if it's good, you keep watching it. And if you get a real strong feeling
That the
with
show's
the
gonna turn to
episodes
butt?
that you're watching that we might be following the trail that leads to butt crack, then you just stop and make up the rest.
You know, the perfect
Would the show be better if you watched it with my method?
Yes, the perfect ending to Lost that like without like trying to look up fanfiction or any theories or any extended stuff that people have tried to do, the perfect ending for Lost, the show, just watching the show, is you watch episode 1 of season 1 and you watch all the way through to the end of season 3 and then you go, I think this happens, and you walk away.
I don't really want to watch any more Twin Peaks because the way that Twin Peaks season 2 ends, I think it's a perfect ending. I think it's going to be butt after that. I was watching a TV show called 12 Monkeys. That was a sci-fi original show. That show's first season, quite killer. Quite killer. The second season, which I believe is what I was watching, it just takes some real strong, hard, we'll say, for lack of better words at the same
Butt
time,
turns.
it takes some CW series turns. Where characters
It goes full Arrow.
characters stop using logic and it just becomes a soap opera. And I said, Amanda says, did you want to watch more 12 Monkeys? And I was like,
Not really.
I said, it started as not tonight. I'm not in the mood. Because we were watching the show like a lot when we first started it. And then it was, are we ever going to watch that show again? And I was like, yeah, probably we should. And then it turned into, hey, remember when we were watching 12 Monkeys? We're like, man, that show took some turns. I don't know if I care anymore.
The only show that I think I've ever seen go bad faster than Arrow
Heroes.
is Heroes.
I watched 4 episodes of Heroes. It's a rad show. I don't know if I want to watch more, though.
You want to watch more of Heroes. Here's the
Not
thing.
much more, though.
You want to watch exactly 21 episodes of Heroes because 21 episodes of Heroes is the perfect television show. I've told so many people, I cannot stress to anybody, it's an old show. If you ever have the opportunity to watch the first season of Heroes, do it. It is the perfect television show. It's so good. There's time travel rules that are consistent for season 1. It's so good. By nature of there being a second season, entire character arcs are turned to dust and spat on.
So they did the thing I said, where the producers just take away the writer's ability to make a show.
Well, here's the thing. They chose to. It was
Did that
during the
show?
writer's
I was
strike.
gonna say, did that show die from the writer's strike?
Well, not the writer went on record being like, "No, that's my whole thing," and then they essentially threw a contract at him, like, "Well, you signed on for so many." And he's like, "But," so I'm almost positive
He tanked his own show.
No, he tried to do he pitched an anthology series.
Oh,
He's like, "Okay, season 2 can be about something completely different," and they were like, "No," and he's like, "But," and then the writer's strike happened.
I don't.
And he's like, so season 2 is 15 episodes of total gutter trash. Which gets worse. Hero season 3 and 4 are honestly some of the worst TV I've ever seen in my whole life. Judging, like, compared to Arrow and stuff, like, Arrow is an award-winning, phenomenal show where characters make phenomenal, good, logic-based decisions 100% of the time. Compared to freaking season 4.
That is a bold statement. The idea that Arrow could not be the worst show on TV is a bold statement.
I mean, it might be right now, but if Arrow season,
What about the reboot? What about the reboot of Heroes?
It was fine. Like, they did some okay. No, actually, it started fine, and then they were like, well, all of this stuff's connected, and you go, and you're like, this is bad now, and that's why it only got one season. Man, I hate Heroes so much. I used to say I liked it, but I hate it because I've come to the conclusion that if there's, let's say, 100 episodes of Heroes between episode 1 and the reboot, and you like only 21 of those episodes, maybe you don't like the show.
It's a bad one.
It's a bad ratio.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Life's What You Rate It, where we didn't so much make a lot of jokes, but Mark had a lot of things that he had to get off of his chest. We've done this before.
I legitimately do.
We'll probably do it again. Most importantly, I'm glad that you held it in until a decade after the show goes off the air. I'm glad that you waited this. You were biding your time.
Because here's the thing. I do look. John liked a Merry Christmas.
Oh, you freaking scared me so bad.
Why?
I don't know. I just didn't know what you were talking about.
Oh, John liked a Merry Christmas.
Oh.
No, here's the thing.
Oh,
the reason
man.
I could not talk about Lost sooner was
it was under the statute of limitations.
Yeah, there was a statute of limitations of spoilers because everybody cared about Lost so much for so long.
Until now. This is the day.
Yeah, no, this is the day when everybody can firmly agree. If you walk into some hobo on the street and go, "You care about Lost spoilers?" They go, "What?"
They go, "No, I'm good, actually. I don't think I'll get around to it anymore."
They're like, "I won't get around," or "Yeah, that ending was trash," or "I fell off at season 4 because it looked like it was gonna be butt," and you're like, "Man, I wish I would have done what you did."
Thank you for listening to Life's What You Rate It. Remember, don't scare me again. Remember to spread that Christmas cheer, and also remember that now the statute of limitations from Lost is officially up, and you can talk about it. And you can comment your thoughts on Lost in the thread too. People like that. Like, people have things to say, but I made that joke, but I really do think that people still have a little bit of residual things they need to say about that show.
Yeah, like, no joke. If you bring up Lost to anybody who's seen all of that show and is in any way like a nerdy person about anything, they will get.
We're talking to moms though.
Well, yeah, like, no, okay, but like any bit in a way of somebody who's passionate, not nerdy, passionate about TV or good story, there will be.
I don't think moms are passionate.
They will get
about anything.
They will get
except children and Pinterest.
But also, here's the thing: like, if their moms like talk to their husbands or something who might have watched Lost, and their husband's like, yeah, they'll get a little bit heated. They'll be like, oh yeah, I remember Lost is pretty good, and they'll talk about it a little bit, and then they'll remember how buck wild that show gets while they're talking about. I've done this before with every person I've talked to about Lost. They'll talk about it, be like, yeah, it's pretty good, and you'll talk about it, and then they'll be like, no, that show was kind of butt, and they'll get a little heated about it. Because it's like 6 seasons. And the last episode's like 3 hours, yeah.
Is there a movie?
It's not like theatrically released. Like, the last episode's like 2.5 hours, I think.
6 seasons of the movie, dog.
Yeah.
Just like Community. Or was Community referencing that?
Probably. It wouldn't surprise me if they were. Freaking Lost. And like, yeah, the biggest disappointing thing about Lost is you still want to watch it. Is the thing. I recognized how bad Lost was.
Are you free yet? Do you still want to watch it?
No, I'm free now. No, what I mean was like
during the process
when I was watching Lost. I got to the point when I think it was the first episode when there was all of the different flashbacks on layers and time travel stuff.
Do you think that do you think I would get hooked and watch the 6 seasons, or do you think I would have actually drifted?
You probably would have.
Because I feel like I drift pretty easily if I need to. But that was only 6 episodes, though.
You did, but like, here's the thing: for as much dumb stuff, and okay, this is a positive thing I'm going to say.
For 6 seasons of a show, dude, that's a lot of time for me to drift away.
Well, yeah, I'm saying you would drift away by nature.
Give it a beat, boys, a free back. Go ahead.
By nature of just how much show there is and how much time you have to dedicate to things like that.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You would drift away.
Because there's 6 seasons.
However, for most people, in Lost's defense, there is enough
Well, okay.
at least moderately interesting stuff that they do introduce.
Well, yes, because
don't circle back around.
It's easier to ask questions than answer them. So as long as they keep asking questions, it's going to seem dope. That's the whole thing about Lost.
No, sometimes. Because sometimes they ask questions like, well, why didn't they get rescued till now? Well, the island was time traveling, but also wasn't time traveling. Well, like...
I'm going to rate something real quick just to get back on track. Sometimes when I'm dealing with things in life, the only response possible from me is the
raspberry. that is.
Sometimes I'll see something in real life, and that's my only response. There's no better response. It's 100%. Is 100% the accurate and most honest and like true to. Like, you know, like, people always talk about English sucking and, like, other languages like Latin having so many more descriptive words. Sometimes there are things in the English language that can only be described with the... And people know what you're talking about.
What you're saying about it. Yeah, that's...
Next time you see something like that, do that. You'll feel better. You will look dumb, but you will feel better because you will have expressed yourself in the appropriate way. I'm going to cut you off. Thanks for this show. It's gone a long time. Thank you for listening to Life's What You Rate It. Please talk to us about Lost. Please spread Merry Christmas cheer. I'm going to play the post-roll ad. Do you know any jokes?
Yeah. Why did the meteorologist shower with meatballs?
Why did the meteorologist... why?
Because his forecast predicted a meteor shower. Have I used that joke before?
No, that is so stupid.
Okay, good. I think that's where I used it, maybe.
Oh, man. Thanks for listening to the podcast that we produce here at WackMatters.com. Just in case you didn't know, we have a lot of different shows running right now. There's Life's What You Rate It, where me and my brother Mark rate everything on a scale from 1 to 10 that exists in the entire universe. Tune In, where Marcus and his friend Karsten talk about cartoons and their value for people of all ages. Of course, Whack Tracks, where me and a bunch of friends make commentary tracks for whatever shows or movies we might be into at the time. And our newest show on the network, The Music Matters, where my friend Trevor creates a discussion around all the matters relating to music. If you'd like to support the content we make here at WackMatters.com, please go to WackMatters.storeenvy.com and check out our merchandise section. We sell t-shirts right now, and there's more merchandise to come. Even if you don't want to buy a t-shirt, there is a donate button at WackMatters.com that you can use to support the content that we already make and to help fund creative ideas for the future. Additionally, this podcast is also brought to you by Audible.com. If you go to audibletrial.com/WackMatters, you can sign up for a free 30-day trial with Audible.com where you get to listen to a free audiobook of your choosing and can continue subscribing for an awesome audiobook content subscription. Remember, that's audibletrial.com/WackMatters. We love you all and hope you will continue checking out the content we make here at WackMatters.com. Have a great day.